What's up, guys? Sometimes in my comment section I get, should I be an officer or should I be enlisted? And basically I'm going to give you my opinion only, not representing anyone else, on what you should do, what I did, and why I think you should do that. So starting off, I want you to, if you're in high school, take a standpoint of where your life is right now. Does your family have money? Are you guys, well off? How are your grades? And what do you really want to do with your life? So if you're coming from like a military family and you want to make military, your life, then it comes down to two things, right? If you're going to do a career 20 years in the military, the pride aspect on what you want to be, or the salary, right? So a lot of people who join the Navy, enlisted, their end goal is to be a chief, be part of the goat locker, which has tons of history dating back, but let's not get into that right now. It's a really prestigious thing to become chief, and it means a lot to the enlisted community. If you're looking at long term and it's not a pride thing for you, officer makes so much more money. And if you don't believe me, go ahead, type in military pay chart and just look at any of the officers, look at the enlisted ranks, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, like this kid straight out of college is making as much as a chief. And after 20 years, let's say an 05 versus an E7, the pay difference is gonna be tremendous. But you go the 20 years as an officer, you're never gonna be part of that enlisted community, and you might not get to indulge in that. I mean, that goes both ways, don't get me wrong. You go 20 years as a chief, you never really know what it's like to be an officer, etc. And there's some people who do like 10 years enlisted, switch over to officer. And there's some people who do like 10 years enlisted and they switch over to officer, so they can give somewhat of a standpoint. But if you're looking on strictly, how can I maximize the amount of money I have after I retire, officer's the route for you if you're gonna do a career, right? So let's get that career stuff out of the way. Personally, I think officer would be the better bet, because more money. If it's a pride thing to you, if it's a family thing, your dad was chief, his dad was chief, then by all means, dude, be a chief. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, from a money standpoint, you're gonna have more as an officer. Push the career aside. So now, let's just say you're joining the military as a stepping stone. Say you're me. In high school, didn't have a lot of money, family didn't have a lot of money, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do in my life. My grades were very subpar. It's not that I was dumb, I just didn't try, it didn't interest me. So, I had some options, right? That I didn't really know I had at the time, so I'm telling you the options. Say you're thinking about joining the Navy. You can either go the officer route or the enlisted route. Enlisted route, free, join right away. Officer route, you have to apply for scholarships and get into a commissioning program, which then they pay for the school and you commission. Or if you can't get in one, take out loans on your own, try your chances at community college, try going to some college, go in debt, and then join the Navy and try to use programs to pay that off afterwards. But if your grades are subpar and you can't get into an officer commissioning program, I would suggest going enlisted, because while you're enlisted, you can do school. Say you knock out 2 years during your 4-year enlistment, right? So you knock out 2 years of school. When you get out and you have the GI Bill, not only are you not in debt, you have tons of money saved up, and you only need 2 years left of your degree. So to get to the end goal, say you want to be a nurse, right? We're going to use this in perspective. You're joining the military because you want to be a nurse and you want opportunities to be a nurse. Join enlisted, do 4 years, which you have 2 years of school knocked out during. So when you get out, you need 2 more years of school, so 6 years combined, right? If you're taking the enlisted route to be a nurse, 6 years combined. Hypothetically, if you're on track. Now, say you go the officer route and you don't have money for school, so you're not gonna put yourself in debt, because that'd be dumb. I wouldn't put myself in debt. So you go through an officer commissioning program. Now, you take 4 years, right? So 4 years, just like a regular enlistment, but that's just for school. Then you add on top of that the time you owe back to the Navy for paying for school and an officer contract. And on top of that, they don't have to let you out once your contract's over. Officers are different, they request to get out, but if you're in an undermanned field, they're gonna keep you in. So going from 6 years to ultimately being a civilian nurse on the outside, hypothetically, that's obviously really fast track, as opposed to like 7, 8, 9 years as an officer, and then maybe getting out and then becoming a nurse, So you're looking at a difference of like 4 years to the end goal. So if your end goal is civilian nurse, I would still enlist, right? I would still enlist. So basically, how I'm gonna break this down for you guys before I end with this food for thought I gave you. If you're gonna make it a life decision to be in the military, and you wanna do 20 years, I would try to become an officer. Just because the money aspect, and I know pride is a thing, and I know there's going to be tons of things in the comments, but when you think about it, the money does matter. It's going to matter in the end. Your salary and your retirement's going to matter. If you're in it for the pride, do what you want. If you're just in it for school, to get schooling benefits, enlistment contracts are short, and they're like that. You'll get cool stories to tell for the rest of your life. You can use tuition assistance while in, and then get out and enjoy life like that. If you guys have any questions, if you guys wanted me to do a video on something else, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys.